Good afternoon. Today we're going to review some of the new features of our BRIX sales tool. We'll take a look first of all at the new look and feel of BRIX sales. Then we'll review some additional features that will benefit your sales team in the new BRIX sales version. As well, we'll review briefly how to set up your new sales tool. So first of all, we'll start off with some menu items. Then we'll review the new terminology that we have in BRIX sales. There are some search tools you'll want to see. We'll review some change orders. We'll show you how you have more control over user permissions. And then we'll wrap up our new look and feel with option control for sales versus decor. So let's jump in and compare the two first of all. On the screen here on the left-hand side, I have the original BRIX sales. Then on the right-hand side, I have the new BRIX sales. So there are a few little differences between the two. First of all, for our menu items, you'll notice here that we've got sales on the left-hand side, and as you flow down, you're used to all the different menu items. But you'll also notice on the very bottom of the screen, it says sales, admin, and utilities. We've relocated some of that on the new version. So now on the new version, we've got sales, admin, and utilities across the top. And if we want to dig in a little bit to BRIX sales itself in the sales tab, all we have to do is click sales and we have all those same menu items going down the screen. So a little bit cleaner on the look and feel. Now for reviewing some of the terminology differences, you'll notice on the far left-hand side in the original, we have contacts. So contacts is the same thing as customers in the new version. So if I click on customers in the new version, and I click on contacts in the original version, we're presented with a list of the different customers we have in the original BRIX sales. And now we're customers as well in the new version. So our search tool is a little bit different as well. If I want to, for example, find, and it'll apply to customers, it'll also apply to contracts as well. So on the original one, if I want to look up a customer's contract, I would actually click on contracts. And then as you're used to, you would hit search. And now I would type in the customer's last name. So let's just go Wilson, and I'll hit OK. And then I'm presented with all of the Wilsons within the system. And you can see here Jordan Wilson is listed a whole bunch of times. We can see all the different addresses, the job numbers, and the projects. Then we also have naturally the sales date, and the verbiage kind of starts to disappear behind the header on each one of these. In the new version, I can go up into this open area here, type in Wilson, and it starts to search and filter for me as I'm typing. Now, when we go into the body of this screen that we're presented with, we see Jordan in here, and she's divided up between the different projects that she's interested in. If I want to take a little bit more, look at a little bit more information for Jordan, for example, under Cottonwood Place, I can click on Jordan. You'll notice there's a shortcut screen. We'll get into that one in just a moment. But if I click on that to reduce the size of it, we can see Jordan's information here. And now I have a list of different menu items across the top. And we can get into all of her contracts right from here. So now we can actually search additional information instead of just her contracts from the Contracts tab. So that's one additional one that we've got for you. Then as well, if we are going onto the search tool, for example, let's go into the change orders themselves. So let's pick a contract here to begin with. We'll kind of cover the search tool as well as some change order items at the same time. So I'm just going to search on the sold date, or filter on the sold date here to begin with. You can see all of the different contracts that we've written and the date they're sold, just like you can in the original version. So I'm going to filter twice on the sold date Move that over so you can see it a little bit more. You will notice here that I've got my address, 42 Palms Drive, displayed. Here I've got my street number and then my street name. So they're separated, so we have the ability to search on the street number and or the street name. So you can search on any of these items in the search area here. You probably already noticed as well, you can see all of the same information on the right-hand side, which is the new version of BRIX Sales, that you can on the left-hand side, which is the original version of BRIX Sales. I always use the new version, but all the same content is here on the original. So a lot of the information that you already have in your original BRIX Sales is instantly going to transfer over as soon as we make that connection for you to be able to use the new sales tool. So you won't have to worry about that. So let's just pick on one of these lots here. I'm going to go into 46 Palms Drive. Currently, I have this shortcut screen open on the top right-hand side. That's just because I'm displaying both BRIX sales side by side right now. If I was using my full screen, I wouldn't have to shrink this shortcuts tool. And we'll get into the shortcuts tool in just a minute. So let me just shrink this up a little bit. Then I'll also do the same thing and go into 46 Palms Drive in the original version. I just have to click on the hyperlink. Now I have the job information open on both. On the original, as you're used to, you can scroll down the screen on the left-hand side here and get into your job information, your contact information, your project, and so on. In the new version, you have a lot of tabs across the top here, so you can access information that way. Plus, to kind of stick with the same theme of jobs, contacts, project, we now have this shortcut tool. So when I open up this shortcut tool, we can still get to the projects, the job, the contracts themselves or the contract itself, the customer, which will be able to get us to being able to see all of Jordan's contracts. So if I went into Jordan, shrink this up, again, I can get into her contracts right from here. And then I'm just going to sort on here because it's easier for me at the moment and go to 46 Palms Drive. So I can click on anything for verbiage wise here instead of having to click on that hyperlink. And again, I'm right back where Jordan was. So now if we want to take a look at the change orders next, naturally on the new side, on the new version, I go into the jobs and I can click on the job itself. The reason why I said naturally is because in the original, you were used to going into the jobs and right into the change orders themselves here. So now I have one change order, and you can see here the information on the change order. Here, if I want to, I can go into the change orders using the tab at the center, and we're presented with our change orders here. So now in the new version, change orders are color-coded. They are green if they're approved. They're yellow if they haven't been approved yet. An added bonus, because in the original we can't really see that right from here. However, if we scroll over, we can definitely see the approved right within here. And we still have the ability to view the details under the items, the PDF and attachments. So in here we can view our details once we click on the hyperlink for the 001. Then we also within the actual change order itself have the ability to see these details, put in the attachments as well, and then we'll be able to print this off. You can naturally see photos here, which you couldn't in the original one. So if we went and took a look at the items in the original one, you can see there aren't any photos naturally in the original BRIX sales. So we'll go into how to get those photos into the system in just a minute here. But if I wanted to, I can just go back to create a new change order. I can go back to the job. I see the change orders here, and then I can hit new. Adding the new change order, all I have to do is, we've got a date here, Right now I'm going to say customer driven, so I'm going to choose the customer. The type, is it builder, design, or customer as well? So I'm going to put this as a customer driven one. It's not canceled. And in here, we're going to put, I don't know, additional. We'll just put additions. Then all I have to do is hit save. Now I can go into the details. And the reason I'm going into this is I want to show you how some of the search tools are working in the newer version. So I'm going to select Options Catalog. And from here, I no longer have to be specific. So I can start to filter using any one of these columns in the white area. So if I want to start putting in some option description information, instead of looking up with any of the categories, I can go right into the option description itself and type in level. And anything with the word level is going to come up. So if I want to see all level 2s, I can actually just type in level 2, and then you can see here everything with level 2 is starting to show up. If I wanted to just type in granite, anything with granite, and I haven't even finished typing the word, is starting to show up. So I no longer have to be super specific with exact spelling or anything like that, or exact verbiage that's in the option description. I can be fairly vague, and I'm still going to get that information that I'm looking for as a salesperson to help support my customer for sure. So we've gone over the new menu items, the revision to terminology, and some search tools, as well as the change orders. Let me just close this screen here, and we'll review a few other items within BRIX sales. So right now, you will also remember at the very bottom of your original BRIX sales, you've got sales, admin, and utilities. So those again are at the top, sales, admin, and utilities. If we go into the admin section, in the new version, we can see client settings, permission templates, users, and event tasks. In the original, we've got the admin, client settings, roles is the same as your permission templates. Then you've got users and event tasks. So the last three, change order heading, order footer, and selection sheet footer, have actually all been moved over to the utility section now. So those are all in utilities. But we'll take a look right now at the client settings are exactly the same, so you don't have to worry about that. That information is the same back and forth between the two. But now if I want to go into permission templates, we'll go into roles in the other one just so we can kind of compare. If I click on sales agent in the original BRIX sales, you can see as I'm going along, we've got the radio dials, and you can start to focus in a little bit on what people can and cannot see. But in the newer version, we can go down to sales consultants, we called them this one, versus agent. And in here I can go into permissions, and now we have a tree. So in here, they don't have admin or utility rights, so they're not going to see either one of those two menu items. And as I start to expand my sales menu, you can see there's ability in here to start getting a lot more granular in what you can and can't access, and what you can and can't assign different users and salespeople. So you can have additional templates if you need to, based off of what you want that user to be able to accomplish right within BRIX sales. I'm just going to cancel this one. So let's talk about the utilities for a moment here. We're going to click on that on both sides. This will wrap up our new look and feel, so we'll finish it off with some of the utility items. Like we said earlier, custom change order footer, header, footer, and selection sheet have now moved over to the utility section. In here, under the options, you can actually click on here. And when you open up the options, you can now take, if I click on one of these, take and assign the option selectable at, and in here I've got this particular option selectable at both levels, but I can define whether or not it's a sales center option or a design center option if I wanted to, or I can leave it as both. So that's an additional tool that you'll be able to use when you move over to the new BRIX sales module. So the next thing on our list is going over the features and benefits for both your sales team as well as your office team. So during this, we'll go over how to add those photos to your options so that there's additional clarity for your customers. We'll go over how to generate proposals for customers so that your sales team can give your clients something to walk away with before they actually go ahead and sign their contracts and move forward. Then we'll go over how to convert those proposals right into sales contracts within the BRIX platform. We can also allow customers to sign contracts and documents within DocuSign. Then the nice part about all of this is we now have a margin sheet to help whoever is actually going to be approving that agreement before they sign it off, so that you can have your anticipated profit at your fingertips. And then lastly, we'll go over how to add in your own company logo to personalize the experience a little bit more for your customers. You no longer need to lean on us to do that for you. You can do that one yourselves. So let's dig right back into that on the BRIX sales side. So now we can just expand this screen. Awesome. So we were in the options screen before. Let me just cancel it and show you how we got back in there. So we went into the utilities and we went down to options. We brought up the options screen. So from here, to add photos to your options, all we have to do is when we're on the options one, take and click image. Then from here, you can type in a URL address. If you want to pull it directly from your trades and suppliers website, you can do that. Or you can actually just click upload. It'll take you to a file folder section where in here you can upload additional photos. So what I've done is I've hit the plus button beside the file folder and I've created all of these different file folders because that's where I kind of want to gather my photos. But if I'm in appliances, I can double click on the appliance file folder, and to get these photos into each one, I click the upload button and brought in these photos, maybe from some files I have on my desktop or on a USB that maybe my trade and supplier has given me. So I've uploaded these right into the BRIX sales file folder system that we're giving you. Then to add this one in, all I have to do is click on it, and then at the very bottom, I can hit set, and that's going to upload that photo for me, and then I just hit save. So super easy to add in those photos. Then all I have to do is close this one out, and I've got a photo attached to my appliance package. Then you just repeat that process. So next, we've got generate proposals for customers from your sales team. So let's take and go into the sales side. Let's look up a customer right now. So I can add in a new customer if I want. On top of adding in a new customer through BRIX Sales, you can also have customers come in through our new Hyphen CRM. So if you are not currently using a CRM and you want to add that one in, you do have the ability to also take a peek at our new Hyphen CRM that will automatically send the customers over to BRIX Sales for you as soon as the customer reaches a certain stage in the CRM process. So if you need that, please just reach out to your sales team or even Shonda at the end. That's who's actually probably going to be doing your training with you on the new BRIX sales module, and she'll connect you and get you a demo of the new CRM system as well. So we're just going to take and because I'm using Chrome, it remembers customers that I've typed in from before. I could just type it in, but I want to pick on Jordan Wilson. I always pick on her during my demos. So we'll click on Wilson right here. We can see again all the different projects that Jordan is interested in the center of the screen here. So let's click on Jordan. Right now I'm presented with her file. We can update the status, the registration, the realtor, All of this information is still at your fingertips, but we're going to go over into proposals right now. So these are all the different proposals that I've already created for Jordan. Let's create a new one together. So we're just going to hit New. In here, you can type in a proposal date if you want. So we'll just go 07, or you could even click on the proposal date in the back here from the calendar. So I can actually click on the calendar and pick a proposal date this way. So for now, I just like to type in July 7, actually 21, July 21st, 2021, so I can find it a little bit easier. And for us, we're just going to put test for now. I can take still and assign this to myself, or I could assign it to another sales representative if I'm working with additional teammates out in the sales arena. For today, I'm just going to pick myself. Now on the proposal, we can go to our projects. You don't have to have a project at the moment or a job. We could just start off with the plan so that as you're building new projects and jobs, until you know all of that information, you could start off with a plan and move forward from there if you wanted to. But today I'm just going to pick a project. So I'm going to stay in Cottonwood Place. I'm going to pick a job. So from here, I'm going to stick in the 40s. So let's pick on this 38 Palms. Now, right now, this particular job already has a spec home assigned to it. If it didn't, this would still be blank. And then all I'd have to do is go into the select, and I could pick the plan that I wanted to actually add to this job. So I'm going to close this window, stick with my spec home that I currently have in here, and hit save. So from here, I could print this off if I wanted to. Kind of plain though right now, so let's add some bells and whistles for this customer. But she does get her plan information, her purchaser information, and if we had a lot premium or incentives or anything like that, we would have that listed below here as well. So I'm just going to close this for a moment before we go ahead and print it. We'll go into options to begin with. So these are the options that currently come with this house right now, the way I currently have it built. I want to go into my option catalog. Again, I could start filtering or just scroll down the screen. I could filter on just my plumbing items if I needed to. If I wanted to see a little bit bigger picture of how this shower is looking, all I'd have to do is click on it. So this picture, again, I just took right from the internet, and I just did a copy, paste, and save for this particular one. So not hard to get those photos, but if I wanted to add this, I'm going to add this to my proposal. Because we're only at the proposal stage, we're not using attributes at this time in here, but I could put in some additional option information if I needed to. So I'm just going to hit add. I'm going to scroll down. Maybe she's interested in this recessed light. We'll add that one. And as I scroll down, we've got some different samples of what you can do. So I put some levels on here. If I wanted to see countertops, again, I took this one right from the internet, just did a right click, save image as, and I pasted it into a file folder, and then I uploaded it into BRIX Sales. So I like that. Customer's happy with it. Let's just add that option. So we just added a few items here for now. We're going to close this window in the top right-hand side. Then I can, if I wanted to, go in, and while we're at it, let's put some incentives in here. So say I want to add a $5,000 incentive for the design studio if I wanted. If I had some sales discretionary or lot sales price or anything like that, I could also put these pieces of information in. And again, we still have some custom fields if you need additional information to be shown on the contract later on and or the proposal. So I'm just going to save this and go back to my summary page. So from here, I can delete the information and I can print it. You'll also see this create contract, which we'll get into in just a minute. So if we hit print right from here, you can see those additional options that we've added. You can see the customer options here at the bottom for the 10,600. We've got our incentives added. And if I had to put the sales discretionary, the lot sales price, or homeowner association fees in, you would have seen that also display. So we could print this off and give this to Jordan as a takeaway to take home, shop us with other builders. But then when she ultimately decides to come back to us, we're going to go over to Jordan here. I'm going to bring up the proposal. She says, you know what, Nicole, I want to see the proposal that we were working on here in July. So on the 21st, I just sorted on proposal name. I can go into that one. So it's proposal number 28. I've got that in front of me. If she had given me back the proposal, I'd have seen that and been able to search that up right away. She's happy with this proposal. We could still add additional options if we wanted to by going back up to the options section here. But now we're just going to hit create contract. I'm going to say that we have home to sell, and I'm going to create this contract. So now I've created the contract. I'm going to show you where that is. Again, we've got this shortcut field on the far right-hand side. I'm going to go over to Jordan as a customer. I'm going to go into the contract section. And in here, I'm just going to filter on the date sold because she has multiple investments with us. So we're going to look at this one that today we just converted into a contract. I'm going to click on it. I have her contract information here. And if I wanted to move forward, all I'd have to do is hit commit, and it's going to start that workflow that you're probably used to already. On mine, I do have to take and select a sales source. We've got that one locked down, so we're just going to say that we don't know who the sales source is. I'm going to hit save. I've got some errors because we have a contingency on here. So a contingent address. So 32 Redview Road. And when is this going to expire? We're just going to say she has to sell it by Friday. So we'll go ahead and hit save here now. And then I'm going to commit this. So I'm going to commit this so we can move this forward as a contract. Now, before we move forward, we probably want to make sure that we finalize that those are the only options she wants to add in. So to do that, I can go into the job on the far right-hand side. I can go look at Jordan's change orders. So you may remember that on the original one, it was green. This one's yellow because I haven't actually committed and approved this change order yet. So I can see additional information on this change order if I needed to. You can also see here that it says July 21st, 2021 test. So in here, I get taken right to the details. So I can see all of the information that Jordan's added. We can commit this change order and then approve it for the customer. Doing that is going to go ahead and change this change order from pending to approved. I also have the ability to still add attachments right in here. And from here, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and print off this change order for Jordan, and we still have all of the controls that we typically would before. So once Jordan signed off on this change order, I can see all of her change orders again by just going over onto the shortcut side on the right-hand side. This change order is now green. I do have, if for some reason somebody wanted to see the margin sheet, again, it's all user-based permission, so we do have a margin sheet. So the margin sheet here is going to help us with our anticipated profit if we want to see that information right from here. And then as well, if I go right back to the contract section here, whoever is going to approve my contract does have the ability to go to the approval section. And before they approve this contract, they as well, based off of their permissions, probably have access to that anticipated profit section. So now I can go up to the top. If I am an approver, I can go in, type in the date that I'm going to approve this. I'm going to choose it right from the calendar. I don't have to put any initials in here. You're going to see the approved by show right below. Just as an example, you can put comments in here if you need to, and we can go ahead and save this particular contract. Based off of my permissions, I possibly, if I ever needed to, I could reject or remove approval if needed. So we've taken and converted the proposal to a contract and approved that contract. Now the customer probably has to sign off on the contract. So now I can go to the document section, and right from here I can click on my sales contract and maybe my sales contract checklist, kind of making a package, so that what I can do now is go into create documents. Based off of my permissions, I have different views on this create document. So right now I have the ability to see Word documents, PDF, and print. You'll also note though that I can actually print all or send to DocuSign. So if I wanted to, I can send this right off to DocuSign now. What that's going to do is it's going to put it into a package for DocuSign. All I have to do is close this one off. It's gone into a package and you can see that it's sent off to DocuSign. So now that'll go into the DocuSign routing order. You can see exactly where it's at any stage of the game by opening up your DocuSign account. You can change up who's actually receiving the document if you have somebody on holidays or anything like that. And we actually have an entire how to set up DocuSign in a tutorial as well. So if you need to, you can always ask Shonda and she can send you that information after you guys have worked through setting up your new BRIX sales environment. So the last thing on our list is changing up your company logo if you need to, just to kind of give yourself that extra little touch when you're logging in or you have your BRIX sales screen in front of you. Before you had to get a hold of us to change that up for you, now you no longer have to do that. So all you have to do is go up into the utilities, and at the very bottom of the page, you go to manage logo. So now all you have to do to change your logo is select the choose file and navigate to wherever you have your files stored. So mine are in logos. And in here, just for fun, because we have BRIX sales right now, let's just change this to the Hyphen CRM logo and hit open. And then all you have to do is hit update logo. And then from here, you can see that it changed to the Hyphen CRM logo. Now, if I sign out of BRIX sales, you can see Hyphen CRM logo is right here. So super easy to change any of this information if you need to. So what's on our list here now? How to start using your new sales tool. To start using the new BRIX sales tool, there are no additional fees. You already have it. You just have to set up a training session. And to do so, all you have to do is contact Shonda. Her information is right here for you. So you've got her telephone number and then her email address as well at the very bottom. So Shonda will do any of that training that you need specifically. And then also you do have the ability to naturally reach out to us by sending in a ticket or phoning customer support. And that team as well will make sure that it's very easy for you to get connected with Shonda or somebody to be able to review how to set up your new BRIX sales module. So thank you very much for joining me today. I know all of your sales team is going to love using the new sales module.